a place called Whole Foods. Gonna get a big dish of beef chow mein. Ah, oh, where was London? Ah, oh, ah, oh, where was London? Ah. Well, this is Ray, and this is a short example of really how stupid I used to be in my life. I was warned about this by an old wino in Barstow, California, who come by and told me, look, you don't want to jump this train because there's a blizzard going on in Arizona, and you're going to be heading right into it. And it was just like he had never said anything, you know. I told him thanks, and off we went. It wasn't that cold in Barstow, and, you know, didn't seem like that big a deal. And so off we went, and, you know, hours and hours and hours later, I hit the mountains, and yes, there was a blizzard, and it was cold, and it kept getting colder and colder and colder, and I was not ready for the kind of bitter cold. I mean, this was the kind of cold that it hurt you. It hurt your skin. And somehow I made it through that, come down, and got into Flagstaff. It just still getting cold. But it stopped. And I jumped off, and I ran across the tracks and across the highway and to a filling station, and you know, I got warm in there, and pretty soon, you know, I started getting bored after a couple hours, and you know, hanging around filling station, you know, is not a cool thing. But I don't know what made me do it, but I decided I was going. I saw a train, and it was running, and I crossed back over the highway. I'm thinking that if I get in the boxcar, get in the corner, it's not going to be so bad. I'll be out of the wind and everything. And I'm looking up and down, and I can't find anything open. Everything's locked up. I crawl through to the other side. I'm up and down. I can't find anything. And all of a sudden, I find this one it's got an opening, maybe that wide, you know, and I jump up, I squeeze myself up there, and it's filled with these, I don't know, things that you carry sprockets in, you know, baskets, metal baskets, and it was filled with them. And instead of thinking of the cold, I'm thinking, you know, my God, this is going to be loud. You know, this is a whole boxcar full of empty crates. Man, it is going to be loud. But I worked my way back toward the back, and it took off. And then I started thinking about the cold. It was colder than I'd ever experienced, and I had nothing to prepare myself for it, clothes-wise. And by the time I decided I'd made a mistake, I worked my way over to the opening. I was just going to jump off. It was going too fast, and there was no jumping off. The jump would kill me. And I was stuck. And for the first time, I got scared. I was scared. I was scared of dying. Because if that train didn't stop, I didn't know where it was going. But if it went another 2 hours or something like that, I was going to die in the boxcar. They found me frozen stiff somewhere back in the back. But sometimes trains will stop. not always, but sometimes engineers jump out and they check brake lines and connections, and I don't know what they do. But thank God this one stopped. I felt a jolt of it, and it was like a miracle because I had burned everything. I had a bunch of writing and paper and stuff like that. I tried to stay warm by putting it on fire. It was stupid. It didn't do anything but put smoke in the car, and nothing I could do could stop it. And when the train stopped, I thought, man, this is it, man. I jumped out and I went crashing face first because my legs gave out. They were already numb. They were just absolutely numb from the cold. And I looked to the back, to the caboose. I couldn't see it. I looked to the front, to the engine. I couldn't see it. So I just took off running toward the front. And running is not a good description of what I did. It was like 10 foot and fall, 10 foot and fall, and get up and stumble and run and stumble. And I'm so out of breath, and I'm so cold, and my eyes are watering from the cold, and my skin feels like it's being stabbed. And I, honest to God, thought I felt death touch my neck. I mean, I felt so close to dying out there. If that train would have taken off, there's no question about it. In the middle of nowhere, no lights anywhere, I would have died. And but eventually, I just kept running, and I kept running. And I thought I saw a light, and I thought, oh my God, please. I wasn't even sure it was a light. It could have been my imagination, but I kept running and running. And then I realized it was a human being. And I kept yelling as loud as I could, help me, help me, help me. I mean, all ego, all that stuff, she threw all that away, man. I was scared. I was scared I was going to die. That was going to be the end of my life out there in the middle of nowhere. And I seen the flashlight come up, and he heard me, and he took off running toward me. And by the time we got close to each other, he just yelled out, Jesus Christ, where did you come from? You know, you weren't in one of the boxcars, were you? And, I told him, yeah, I was in one of the cars back there. I didn't realize how cold it was. And he was a big old guy, man. And he just like grabbed a hold of me, man. And he just squeezed me. He said, man, he said, this is a miracle because you would have died. You would have died. We're just ready to take off. And he took me to the front. And in the front, they had 3 engines. He's in the front engine. But the third engine was heated, but nobody was in it. And he told me, go ahead and climb up, get in, and just make sure you jump out before we pull into Amarillo. And I looked at him like he was some kind of angel because he saved my life. And I got up there in that warm leather chair, and all I could think of was I could feel that hand almost touching my neck. You heard howling around your kitchen door. You better not let him in. Little old lady got mutilated late last night. Werewolves have run down again.